Hey, everybody, welcome to a Monday morning show. It's a tiny little contemplative podcast from me, your yelly, screamy cat Napzok. Was it always so yelly and screamy before the blathering? I actually was. It was the real me all along. Thanks for listening to the show on the podcast feed, the Napzok Network, approaching its 14th year in 2026. 14th broadcast year. Thanks for watching on the YouTube side. It's now a public video, but you can get it early by becoming a YouTube channel member or a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/catnapzok. Check out the Patreon page. I just put something up there where I kind of reviewed my own bad set from a recent comedy show. I've had worse sets, but it wasn't good. The whole night was weird, and I wanted to talk about it. I broke it down, put it up on the Patreon page. Shout out to our supporter, listener, friend, and resident professor of smart things, Dr. Addie, who said it was fun to kind of, well, I don't know if she said the word fun. She said it was interesting to be in my mind during some of the moments in the set. I'm paraphrasing, of course, and she meant it in a good way, but that's scary. That's the scariest place to be. Adverts out of the way. This is a different episode. I'm releasing this as on the normal time, but I recorded this days ahead, actually, a couple days ahead, because I am traveling. I also I had this really sick, macabre thought as we head into spooky season where, should I start this video with, if you're hearing my voice now, that means I am dead. Let's hope that's not the case. I like life. A lot going on in my life that I don't like, a lot going on in the world I don't like, but I love life. That's the biggest difference between me and 20 years ago when I was lost at a sea of depression with fixations on self-harm. That's not where I am anymore. Not to turn it too serious. I like living. And if you're out there struggling with that thought, well, let's talk about it. Let's get you there. Let's find the life that you want to live. But yeah, so I'm on the road heading to Arizona to reunited, and it feels so nice. Picking up my dog, Franny, the Noodle. She's coming back home while I still have this home. And so I wasn't going to be able to record, but I need to content. I like contenting. Is it so wrong to content? Sorry, I think I'm getting screamy. This is supposed to be a quieter show for a Monday morning. I was, as always, sitting down to record thinking, what do I want to say? I don't plan this out, which could sometimes be hurtful to my the quality of my shows, but also it's who I am and what is on my mind. And this show is about what we are going to look forward to in the week. What are we going to deal with in the week? What are the big obstacles in the week? And what's the big thought for this week? And it was weird because I was like, I'm recording this early and I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm making jokes about bad things, but, who knows? You don't know with life. But also, I'm so excited to get my dog back. And all things are good. It's nothing negative behind that. Just, a bi-coastal shared custody of a dog. And I'm really excited. And it's something I wanted and didn't think was possible. And so these are all the thoughts collided in my head that you can't predict the future. We all have anxiety about the future, and there's varying degrees of anxiety. There's some places where I have no anxiety, or some place I have very managed anxiety, where other people have high anxiety. And there's other things where I'm very anxious, where other people are not. It's just human nature. But I can definitely get in my head, or as I love to say, in my cups, which, by the way, my cup tonight is a Wood Ranch iced tea to go. Mark Ellis, Christian Ruvacaba, and I had our semi-annual, bi-monthly kind of friends lunch over at our favorite restaurant of all time. So I'm recording this after that. Anyways. I do have a lot of anxiety for my personal immediate future and the future of so many around me. I'll expand it to the country. I'll expand it to the world. But this isn't really a politically heavy thought in my head right now. It's just so easy to look at that unknown and fill in all the blanks in a negative way. And I've been doing that a lot lately. And I think you have to prepare. You don't want to just keep blindly going forward. Oh, the bad things are going to happen, and then you take no action. And by the way, I want to shout out last week's episode. I believe it was last week's episode. Yeah, talking about the choices and did I make right choices and what's faith and what's faith in action. You all had some great comments. I want to shout out Jeannie from Tahini, Ethan of Svetnik 1138. Great stuff about what faith in action is. You guys, as much as I love to sit here with a prop cigarette, which no one really knows what this is. This is something for a character I was doing for a while on the radio show I had, Dutch Allen. And I just eventually had it because it just kind of helped put me into character. But it's a little fidget for me. Never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I've kept it out here in the studio. And I just got to imagine that if you're just like, hey, what's old Ken Napzok from Collider doing? Is he holding a fake cigarette? Yeah, it is. I just roll with it. Anyways. I have been filling in the blanks for the future. And I have been increasingly worried because of the stuff I've put in those blanks. And what I was saying before I distracted myself with my blathering condition, as Ethan and Jeannie, I keep saying Jeannie from Tahiti, and all the people that commented last week, I'm sitting here with a microphone and a fake cigarette, and I am sharing my insights, and a lot of you have wonderful reactions to it. I just really appreciate all of you chiming in with your thoughts. This is a community podcast right here. We're gathering around the fire, and I'm starting off, but I want you to share, and I want you to give advice. I want that comment section to be full of not just positive things about me or this ideas, but just like, hey, I'm going through this too, and here's how I deal with it. I'm going through this as well. I don't know how to deal with it. I think that's why I love doing this show. But we can't predict the future. Duh. And I'm so excited to be reunited with my dog, but I'm so afraid because I will now have that dog alone, and I will be raising the dog alone for a while. And that's wonderful, but it puts some limitations on things I could do. I sound like a parent, and I'm not equating dogs to kids. I'm not doing that thing. But it's like, parents out there are like, yeah, no shit, man. But beyond that, it's the responsibility. Beyond that, it's all right, if I need to go pick up some shift work somewhere, and this dog can't stay home alone as much because it's got some issues, like, ba, 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 ba. And there we go. The blanks get filled in. And we just keep writing in the next steps without truly knowing. Just like I'm recording this episode on a Friday, and I'm not sure where I will be. I mean, I know where I want to be. I know where the road's taking me on Sunday and Monday. But I'm releasing this episode going, hey, World War III could start. World War III could start, and I'll be on the road, and I'll forget I scheduled this video, and you guys will all be like, oh, my God, World War III started. And I'll be like, hi, everybody. Welcome to a little podcast. You don't know. And as I get this dog and face all these new fears, and still big changes coming or possibly coming, or even if I, kind of my life stays how it is, it will be because of some changes around it. And I'm so awash in the fear of that, I have to remind myself that earlier in this year, some stuff happened, some changes happened in my life, and my dog was not going to be with me for a while. And I had a lot of sadness about where I live and possibly having to leave this. And I knew then that I'd eventually be reunited with my dog. But I remember saying in conversation to the universe, with God at the head of the table, if you want, saying that there's a lot of things that might change my life, but I just want my dog back in this yard. She loves this yard. She loves going outside. Favorite thing to do. That little tail wags. Just loves lounging outside for a little bit as I stand there, waking up in the morning or relax in the afternoon. And I just kept thinking, I just want to know that I can be here long enough that the dog would come back. But at the time, that did not look like it was possible. It looked like I was not gonna be able to stay in this house where I am, and the dog would return to me living in a car, me living in a garage, me living on a couch, me living somewhere else. Who knows? Who knows? And I was so upset by that. And I was so upset of just like, I can't believe she's never going to set foot on this ground again. This backyard where two of my other dogs that were Grace's that I inherited in the most wonderful ways, Ratsy and Baxter. This yard, and I'm not going to live here forever, but this yard was the last footsteps of those dogs took on this earth, right? One unplanned, one Ratsy, we knew we were saying goodbye, and I took her to the backyard, and I put her on a little section of the yard, of the grass, and I just, through tears, I don't mean bring anyone down, but through tears, I just told Ratsy, you touch the earth for the one last time, and the rest of the time she was going to be in our arms until the end. And this yard has a lot of great meaning to me, you know? Sorry, I'm thinking about that moment. And I stood back there, this is like in April, and I'm thinking, this third dog has to say goodbye to this yard too. And I just remember at one point saying, I just want her back here. Even if I have to go, even if my life is completely upturned and I have all these fears and apprehensions and I'm stubborn about some things, and even if that happens, even if I make the wrong decisions and I have to lose this place, who knows? Who knows? I just kept thinking, God damn it. And I think I really meant, God, damn this. Damn this thing, God, that I won't be able to have the dog here one more time because it's just not going to work out. It was like in April and then in May. And here we are, months later. And if things go planned, Monday evening, this dog will be in the backyard again. And it will only be for, at most, 2 months, you know. But she'll be there. And I was kind of laughing at myself thinking, you know, you told yourself that this wasn't going to happen. You sat here with tears in your eyes in this backyard that means a lot to you. A backyard that I know that eventually, I don't own this place. I'll have to go. I'll have to move on now or later. But you told yourself in the spring, it's just not going to, it can't work out. And through miracles, through some hard work, it's going to happen. I can't predict the future. We can work towards it. We can plan for it. We can prepare for it. But we cannot predict the future. So why, when it comes to some of those big doubts, why does it come to some of those big unknowns? We always fill in the blanks with the worst things imaginable. Ah, yes, anxiety, this and that. I get it. And not everyone does that. You out there might be like, no, I don't. I'm a big dreamer. I have had those moments. This past week, I really got to admit, Ethan and Jeannie from Tahini and some of the comments that were left, your comments really helped me last week. I really mean that. Your comments really helped me. I really, really had a great week at times. I also had one of the biggest breakdowns I've had in the last year. But it was a good breakdown. It was a breakdown in which, you know, I had some questions for God that I knew I wouldn't necessarily get the answers for, but, you know, if there is a God, that supreme being is big enough to take our questions, our doubt, and our anger. And I had them. And I let that out. But I've also some great thoughts this week that I'm trying to hold on to. But yet we always put those aside. Yep. As they said in Pretty Woman about what people say to you, the bad things are just easier to believe. And we tell ourselves a lot of bad things. And we fill in a lot of blanks with the worst possible scenarios and answers. And I'm going to fail at it again. I'm going to fail at it in about an hour. I'm going to finish recording this episode. I'm going to go do some post-production work. Maybe grab a snack, some fresh air. Might put some logs on the fire pit. and I'll feel good. And then about a half hour later, I'll be like, this is all collapsing around me. And I'll repeat the cycle. But I want to hold on to these moments, and I want to hold on to the truth that is, you can't predict this. You can't sit back and wait. You can't sit back and just be an inactive participant in your own life. Taking action, making choices, acts of faith. That's what our buddy Ethan was saying in his comment last week on the show. So in April, I had absolutely determined my future. My little doggie that I loved so much was going to have to say goodbye to this backyard that she finds so much peace, solace, and relaxation and joy in. And then I therefore find it through her, watching her experience that with her little dog eyes closed and her sniffing the air. It's my favorite thing. I was so sure that was never going to happen again. But it's happening again. It happened again. By the time you watch this, by the time you listen, by the time you take it in. So when I'm in those doubtful moments, when I'm racked with anxiety and I'm filling in the blanks, I'm going to remember hopefully the lesson I learned this week. I don't know what the future holds for you, me, or anyone. It's been a running theme in my shows this year because hour to hour, I bob up and down. Hour to hour, I'm trying to figure it out. But this week's going to unfold in front of me with all the same trials, tribulations, questions, doubts, and fears. But at my side will be the wiggling tail of living proof that I cannot predict the future. And things, good things, can still happen. That's my thought for this week. Share your thoughts, share your experiences, share your advice, share your failures on this stuff. How do you fail with it and how do you overcome it? I want to know. This is a community show right here. It's a Monday morning show. For those of you who might be seeing it for the first time, you're swinging into my channel because I do some stand-up clips, swinging into my channel because I do some weird food reviews. This is kind of a lifestyle channel. This is my chance on a Monday morning to set the week, to set the tone for all of us. And I'm really thrilled you're here. Right? Good? Got it? You can't predict the future. Don't fill in the blanks. Thanks for being here. Check out the Patreon page. Links down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, I appreciate that. Let's keep the podcast feed strong as we head to 2026. See y'all. Have a good week.